everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a quick review and demo of a foundation that I have been trying for over about 2-3 months. It's the Marc Jacobs ReMarcable Full Coverage Foundation. It comes in a beautiful glass bottle like this. I absolutely love the packaging. It's not super travel friendly because it is glass and it's a quite heavy glass bottle, but I have dropped it a couple of times and nothing happened, so it is pretty sturdy. It is $55 for a little less than 1 ounce, which is usually your standard foundation amount. This, I believe, has 0.7 fluid ounces, so a little bit less. I have the shade 12 Ivory, which is the second to lightest shade, and it is the shade that I am wearing today. I believe it is a perfect match for me. Typically I go a little bit lighter, and so sometimes I will mix in my Body Shop lightning drops just to make it a little bit lighter, but for the most part it is perfect. It's a perfect match for me. In my demo, I tried 2 different ways to apply the foundation. I used a brush on this side and a cushion sponge on this side. So I'm really excited about that because I had actually filmed this review before in a different demo about a month ago, and I never got around to editing and putting it up, and during that time I really was experimenting with this foundation, and I really enjoy using a cushion packed sponge with this foundation. So I'll explain and show you how I do that and why I like it. Now overall, do I like this foundation? Yes, I do. Do I think it's worth the price? Maybe not. So I actually purchased this during the VIB sale, so I had been hemming and hawing about whether or not I should get this for such a long time, and when the VIB sale rolled around last fall, I decided I'm just gonna go for it. I get 20% off, so why not? So with the sale, I think it is worth it. So maybe keep your eyes out on Macy's or Nordstrom. I know Sephora rarely has sales, so VIB at Sephora, but maybe keep your eyes out on the department stores, as well as sign up for emails with Marc Jacobs Beauty. I don't know if they send out sales or do coupons because it's such a prestige brand, but I know that department stores tend to do that. I think if you can get a little bit of a sale on it, it is worth it because it is so full coverage that you really only need a little bit, and I think it will last you a very long time. So I absolutely love it. I think the application could have been a little bit better because it's a really weird glass, not even a dropper, it's just a glass bead at the very bottom, so it can get kind of messy, as you can see here, but overall I do like it. I think it looks very classy. I like the coverage of it. I like the shade range on me. I am very fair with neutral undertones, but if I had to pick, I do lean slightly to the yellow side, which is what this 12 Ivory does. So I think shade wise it's perfect on me. So I'm gonna go into the demo. I hope you like it, and if you have any questions, please leave me a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. The brush I use though is the Morphe M439 brush, and it's kind of similar to the Marc Jacobs brush in the fact that it's slightly rounded at the very top, but it's also extremely dense. So let me prime my face first and then we will get started with this demo. I've had a few breakouts the past few weeks, I guess. A little bit here, I have some redness. I have a little redness here, so I'm just going to try to neutralize my face a little bit with a green primer. This is the Innisfree, which is a Korean brand, mineral makeup base. It's a green makeup base, which is makeup primer, and it has an SPF of 30 PA++. And this one is just kind of, it's nice because it just gives a little bit of moisture. It's not like the Hangover RX primer where it kind of has a tiny bit of a slip. This one is just really kind of like a lotion with some added color, and of course that's some sunblock. I do like this one though because it just kind of gives my skin a little bit more clarity, I guess. And if I'm looking here, it's because I'm looking at the mirror. So I have some serious pore action going around here, so I'm going to fill those in a little bit. And to fill those in, I'm going to use the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer, Pore Minimizing. It's in this purple one. I've used this before. I love it. This is my only one. It's a little tiny sample, a little baby sample, but it's so good. I love it so much more than the Benefit Professional. I'm actually not a fan of the Benefit Professional. I find it's way too thick, and it just breaks up my foundation a lot, no matter how long I wait. So I use a little baby amount, just that much. Again, I'm not really looking for extreme flawlessness for my skin. I just tend to love full coverage foundations just because I did have a bit of adult acne when I was about 27, 26, and it kind of traumatized me. And I was looking for all these kinds of different foundations that would give me full coverage. And I just got used to it, I think. I think once you're so used to using full coverage, it's really hard to go back to like a lighter coverage foundation because you feel so naked without it. And you're gonna go in with the foundation. So I have the color 12 Ivory. One is a pretty good match, and as we get into spring and summer, it'll probably be even a better match for me. So, and this part just comes off, and I do not dot on my face. I dot on the back of my hand because I find that I want to keep this as hygienic as possible, and I'm kind of generous about the amount I put on the back of my hand, so that I know they say like 4 drops or something makes it full coverage for your face, but it's not full coverage in my opinion. So I like that putting it on the back of my hand lets me control how much I want to put on my face. And if you have a palette, you can do the same thing, but I just use my hands. So I'm going to do the brush first on this side. And I will say you have to kind of work fast with this foundation because I find that it does dry pretty quickly. It doesn't dry, but it looks cakey fast, so if you don't blend it in fast enough. When I get to my cheek area, I like to just kind of dab to really kind of get in there. But all my other spots where it's not so bad, I will just blend it in. And this brush is so soft. I really like the Morphe brushes. I know some people kind of complain that they're not good, but I think the ones in the sets are not good, but if you buy them individually, I don't know, they're great. I've only had really great luck with them. I buy mine on Hotlook because they come up on Hotlook a lot. And if you haven't used Hotlook before, you will love it. It's like a flash sale site run by Nordstrom and Nordstrom Rack. So it's legit. So that's about half of what I use. And pretty good coverage. It's very seamless. I'm going to zoom you in. You can see my scars here. You can still see some of my darker freckles and my sunspots a little bit more, but overall, really good coverage. This is a really high coverage for me. That freckle right there is extremely dark, so it normally peeks through even if I put concealer over it. And I find that with this foundation, I don't really need to put so much concealer on, which is what I really like. So what I actually like to do is use my cushion sponge or the cushion pad that comes with the cushion foundation and use that to apply it. And I absolutely love it. Because I was thinking I really want to stipple this foundation on and get the most coverage out of it, but I don't like the beauty blender. So what can I use that is not going to soak up so much product? And that got me to thinking my cushion pad, my cushion sponge here. So I have, this is just a refill. You can buy just the pads itself from Mimi Box. I've bought a little set of 5 or whatever, how many they come with. And I just like to take a little bit from my hand and actually just pat it in, and it works amazing. So I'm going to zoom you in to show you. So take about that much, which is quite a bit. And doing that just gives it such a nice finish. It gives it such full coverage. And I'm looking at a mirror very far away, so if the things don't look as blended around the edges of each pat, I will fix that later. Right now, I just want you to focus on the coverage that it's giving me and just the overall finish of it is so nice. If you've used cushion foundations before, you'll know the amazingness of it is really coming from this sponge. More than the actual foundation formula, it is the sponge that does the work of giving you really flawless, seamless coverage. So I'm done with kind of like my first layer, and I want to show you just the finish of it. And I feel like it just looks so nice and smooth. This is the side I did the brush on, so you can see I still have slight redness here and around my mouth area, but that could just be because I had put more foundation on this side. But I just find that this side of my face with the sponge is just so much more smoother and just a lot more even. I really like that. And right now at this point you could put concealer on here, or you could, I don't know, just double up some of the foundation, which is what I usually do. I'll just grab a little bit more foundation, put it on those trouble spots, and then pat again. I just love it. I think it just looks so much more seamless compared to this side, and I'm hoping that translates on camera, especially because this side is the side where I have a lot more scars, and I do have that breakout here and here. I just have more stuff going on this side. I'm going to finish my makeup and I will be right back. Alright, so I'm back with my makeup done, and I actually went over some of the spots that you could see with the foundation. So I actually have no concealer on under my eyes or anything like that. I just kind of dabbed on, and I used my sponge pad to kind of go over those areas again, and I absolutely really like it. I put on setting powder just a little bit around my whole face. You really don't need it, especially for me. I know I'm dry skin, so I really don't need it powdered, but I like it because I find that it makes my bronzer and blush go over it a lot better. Just to have that slight layer of powder there, I use powder bronzer and powder blush, so that makes it kind of blend a lot nicer. And I've used this multiple times, and I do find that around the 5-6 hour mark, when I was a bit combo dry, I would need to blot a little bit, and sometimes it would look a little bit heavier, a little bit cakier. But now that I have pretty dry skin, it lasts a little bit longer actually, and I don't really find that it creases or breaks or cracks or does anything really weird. I just really like it. I also really love this for mixing. I think this is such a great foundation for mixing. I can mix this with a lightening drops. I can mix this with a lighter coverage foundation just to give it a little bit more coverage. And I find that because this is not super matte, but it's not dewy, it's not even satin, it's just kind of normal. I guess it's semi matte, I guess, because there really is no shine coming out of my face. I didn't even highlight today, so I wanted to show you exactly how it is. Any glow that's coming from my face right now is just the foundation, and I do have very dry skin at the moment, so I do think this is really great for mixing. I have some foundations that are a little bit too dewy and a little bit too light of a coverage, so I do like to mix this a little bit, and just because the pigments are so high in here and so concentrated, I think it just mixes really nicely. I would say if you have extremely dry skin, be careful, just prime your face very well. Prior to this video, I had done my dry skin care routine, so if I have that up, I will link it in the cards and put it down in the description box. But I had done my dry skin routine, so I had a lot of essence and toner and serums and moisturizers on, so my face was already very moisturized. And then I went in with like another primer, as you saw in the demo. So far, as far as being a full coverage foundation, I do think this is really nice. You do need to use more than what they indicate, but the amount I use, which is kind of like a normal amount that you would use for a normal foundation, like 1 pump as they say, or a half pump, I get medium to near full coverage. You can still see some of my spots, but again, just doubling up on those areas with this foundation works perfectly fine as a concealer, and I don't have to worry about my concealer not matching and things like that. So overall, I really like it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more, and you can always follow me on Instagram. I'm always on there. I'm part of a beautiful, lovely beauty community on Instagram. We're always sharing our tips, and I just really love Instagram. I think it's just such a nice community, and I'd love it if you could follow me there. That would be awesome. So everything's down in the links below. I have some reviews of other full coverage foundations I've tried, some skincare videos, things like that. I'd love it if you could subscribe and check it out. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!